These fierce gusts from Floris battered into Scotland's west coast this morning. This wind wasn't so much howling as roaring. The RNLI had to be on high alert, but most heeded the advice and stayed in harbour. This yacht in Dundee was dragged out from its mooring. The Coast Guard were called to salvage it. This is a rarer storm because it's hit at the height of summer. Loch Lomond is a magnet for holidaymakers at this time of year. But today, the beauty spot became a battleground with the elements, with only one winner. Were you expecting it to be this bad?
No, obviously I saw the forecasts and I thought, OK, worst case, we can just sit in the van and relax. But it's just been a case of like watching all these other poor camper vans get turned over and just trying to batten down the hatches ourselves.
Tourists are not drawn to Scotland for the weather, but Floris was bringing in wind speeds reaching almost 80 miles per hour here. The water in Loch Lomond is often pretty calm, almost like glass. People would come here at this time of year to go paddling or out on boats, but there's none of that today. As you can see, the wind is creating kind of waves that you would find on the sea. It's almost surfable, and yet we're seeing people who are choosing today of all days to come here and go hill walking. We spoke to some of those hikers coming off the hills with wet feet and a lesson learned. When you look back, was this a good idea?
Nah. It was really bad when we were on top and then we were like, okay, let's go down now. We're all soaked and let's just go down.
But and you're not going to be camping tonight anymore? A hostel, indoors.
We'll stay indoors.
You didn't know there was a weather warning today?
No, I didn't.
Advice to stay inside? And
No.
So you climbed the hill instead?
Yeah.
It wasn't just humans trying to make the best of these conditions. Opportunistic cows in Carfin spotted a farmer's fence had blown over and they took their chance to go on the move. As well as dealing with cattle on the road, drivers had to face other obstacles. A summer storm is exacerbated by leaves still on the trees. They act like a sail, bringing down even more debris. And trains were also cancelled across the country.
There's multiple incidents that are affecting the railway, and that involves trees on the line, trampolines, sheds, things that are getting blown across the line and therefore stops us running a safe service.
The Edinburgh Festival was also disrupted and the doors of the castle kept closed. The military tattoo tonight has been cancelled due to weather for the first time in its 75-year run. This amber warning remains in place until late tonight, but the disruption to travel is expected to continue long into tomorrow. You can maybe see the rain is still coming down here on the shores of Loch Lomond. We're reporting tonight that more than 20,000 homes across the country are still without power. It was as high as 28,000 earlier, but there have managed to be about 8,000 homes have been restored. And we're hearing about that ongoing disruption to travel carrying on into tomorrow. That's because trains and ferries are not where they should be, and that will impact exam results tomorrow. Scottish students waiting for their exam results tomorrow. So island communities that are waiting on the ferry coming in, they are being told that unless they've signed up to receive the results on text or online, they should contact their school and be expecting a delay in receiving the results probably later in this week.
Peter, many thanks. Well, we'll talk to Becky in a moment, who's here in the studio with us. But first to Aisha Zahid, who's at Carlisle Station. Aisha, what is the situation there tonight?
Well, there's been disruption to services throughout the day here at Carlisle train station. That's cancellations as well as delays. Now, to run you through some of them, ScotRail have had speed restrictions in place. They've had fewer services running, and also they have warned passengers that there will be services starting later tomorrow. Meanwhile, Avanti West Coast, they've had a shuttle bus running beyond Carlisle and have also warned passengers not to travel beyond the north of Preston. And TransPennine have had services stopping here at this station with no services running to Glasgow or Edinburgh. And train companies are offering passengers to either use their tickets tomorrow or they are offering refunds. And it's not just the railways affected by this bad weather. It's flights to across UK airports. 68 flights have been cancelled today because of Storm Floris, with the worst affected being Aberdeen and Belfast City airports. Now, coming back to the railways, the disruption is likely to go into tomorrow. Network Rail have said they've been working tirelessly throughout the day, clearing tracks of debris and fallen trees where they can to ensure that services keep running. But Their focus in the evening and into tomorrow morning will turn to inspection of railway tracks to ensure that there is no damage. So again, warnings that services will be running later tomorrow morning and to expect further delays.
OK, thank you, Aisha. Well, Becky's here with more on this. How unusual is it to see a storm like this in August?
Well, storms in August are actually not that unusual. We've actually seen 5 storms in August in the last 5 years. But what is unusual, and what the chief forecaster at the Met Office this morning referred to as climatologically absolutely exceptional, is the depth of that storm and therefore, of course, the wind speeds at this time of year. Now, of course, a storm is just a very deep area of low pressure, and as it approached the UK, it underwent what we called explosive cyclogenesis, which is when that area of low pressure deepens very rapidly and creates this storm. Now, earlier on, it swept across northern parts of the UK, and it's really this sort of hook back here where we're seeing the very strongest and most damaging, most impactful winds, and that is going to luckily rattle through quite quickly, but we've still got several more hours of some very impactful weather to come. So let's just remind ourselves of where we are with those weather warnings. Well, they really are across the northern parts of the UK, although it has been a very blustery picture right across the UK. An amber weather warning in force until 11 o'clock this evening. That's that middle bound of weather warning. And then, as you can see, for the Northern Isles of Scotland, that's in force until 8 o'clock tomorrow. So at least the strength of those winds means that that system moves through fairly quickly. But even so, as I say, we do still have a fair few hours more of quite disruptive weather to come.